All right, guys, welcome back. It's fantasy football season. I'm Dennis Farrell, getting you ready for your drafts, your rankings, your projections. Overall, helping you win your leagues again this season. Got a lot to go over, tons of news, and a big special announcement at the end of this video. Let's start with some things that are going to highlight training camp that might affect some of your draft day picks. Todd Gurley, the Rams' #1 draft pick this season, dealing with the knee injury still. 50-50 to start the season at about 80%, which will affect his draft value. He's the second rookie running back overall being drafted, Melvin Gordon. About round 5 and 12 team leagues. Trey Mason was an RB2 before the draft. He's been going around 10. He will be a sneaky fantasy football draft pick this season, even if Gurley is healthy. Chris Ivory sits atop the Jets running back depth charts right now. Still really low, but I expect him to stay up there this season. You have David Johnson, who is expected to be the poor man's version of Andre Ellington. I like him a lot. Right now he's opening up the season as a #4 running back on the depth chart. I fully expect him to be 1A and 1B on the Arizona Cardinals team, and he has a very low ADP right now in a lot of the mock drafts. Adrian Peterson, he will not play any of the Minnesota Vikings preseason games. It's not because of the contract. We all know everything's happening now in Minnesota. But here's a guy that hasn't done this for the last couple of years. I don't expect this to hurt his value one bit going into the season. Des Bryant, also expected to hold out. At least that's the rumors right now into the season. Right now, the rumor is he might miss game 1. He's the second wide receiver going off the board. So keep an eye on that situation as it develops. And also keep in mind that Odell Beckham Jr., he's dealing with a hamstring injury, the same one that kept him out of 4 games last season. So, you know, here's a guy that everybody's targeting very high up in fantasy drafts right now. He's about the 4th wide receiver going off the board. I'm going to stay away from him this season. Mike Evans, to me, is another guy that I could steal a little bit later in the draft that might give you a lot more value, especially with Mike Evans having the easiest schedule right now among wide receivers, even though he does have a rookie thrown to him. Now, on to the big announcement, guys. Detroit, you've supported me so much, and now I will come back for you as I have been hired by Detroit Sports 105.1 FM, powered by ESPN, which means every Sunday starting this July, you can catch me at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, of course, giving the greatest fantasy advice only I can, and make it entertaining too. So hopefully you guys will go out and support it. You can go to DetroitSports1051.com and listen live online, or you can tune into the station. You can follow them on Twitter at DSports1051, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at Dennis77Farrell. You can follow me on Facebook, Dennis Farrell, F-A-R-R-E-L-L. And if you have a question for any of the podcasts or even the radio show upcoming, you can go to your email address, I guess, and email me, Dennis77Farrell@gmail.com. A lot of good things going on for this radio show. We'll be giving away a chance to win one of these great fantasy championship belts donated by FantasyJocks.com. You will have to listen to the radio show, of course, to figure out how to be entered in a chance to be in a 12-team fantasy football league to win this. Or you can go to officialfantasyrings.com and have a chance to win this beauty. We're also doing a league for that. So there's 24 chances to win one of these 2 cool things that you'll see on these videos. So guys, thank you so much for supporting me, so much for tuning into the radio and the podcast show, and especially so much for hanging out on FoxSportsDetroit.com and listening to the fantasy videos. I'm your host, Dennis Farrell. I'll catch you next week.